Hello guys, Bugsy here. Thought I would, not, I hope you guys like the whole what if scenario because I really enjoyed it myself. But on next week, on Zipcast only, because YouTube is a pot of dicks when it comes to actually doing stuff creatively and doing various things. I'm gonna be doing my holiday stuff on Zipcast. That goes for songs, shows, and various Christmas stories. Because YouTube has proven to me one thing: if you do anything that's from an anime or something, even though you know you're just doing it for fair use and stuff, YouTube will pull it down. But people on Zipcast, we get like a freedom to do whatever the crap we want. Hell, there's anime on there and stuff, and it's like old YouTube. It's like old YouTube, and I kind of miss that. I kind of miss the old days when I used to just go on YouTube and watch a shit ton of Tenchi, including the movies, the OVAs, and sometimes Pretty Sammy. Yeah, I don't know why I watched Pretty Sammy either. It was kind of a thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's like I got this novel right here. Hopefully I'm getting some flash drives for Christmas. But mostly because I really want to. I kind of want to do a long thing where I basically talk about like Tenchi and stuff. Kind of like Tenchi Cast, but I want to do my own thing. I don't know, probably make another secondary Tenchi thing. Because, I like Tenchi and I don't really talk about it that much anymore like I used to. In the Dodenchis that have, I'm not gonna read this like now, but later. And I'm gonna probably start reading this on my own time again because, guys, I just kind of fell off the wagon. But I really think the novel itself is pretty good, and I just feel like we need to actually, and this is the most creepiest image here. I just feel like I need to, read this on my own time or read it to you guys if you want. I just hope they just do they pull out the next novel pretty soon, because some of these novels are connected to Daughter of Darkness. I mean, the animated Daughter of Darkness is one of the direct adaptations of one of the novels. Like, it goes into a thing where they, when Tenji's daughter gets killed and she's reborn as a baby. Uh, there's like novel chapters on that. And, I don't know how far they're really gonna go with this, but I really like this story, and I really wish if we are going to have a whole bunch of different continuities of Tenchi, I want this to kind of have its own anime adaptation, and this will be kind of, and I would dub it the novelverse, because it has so many things from Tenchi Muyo and stuff that didn't even make it, and I really just go like, why? I look at this story and go like, why? This is pretty good. This is a pretty good story. I just look at this and go like, this could have been in there. This could have been this whole. I'm like, okay, this whole chapter right here should have been OVA 3. Like seriously, like Tenchi marrying Aika and shit. That should have been a thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked OVA 3 a little bit, but just certain things I just didn't really like. Them adding another freaking girl to Tenchi's harem, and they did that before, and you guys know how I feel about freaking Sakura. I mean, you guys are like, oh, Bugsy, you're messed up because you didn't feel anything, but yet you feel something when you feel something for the Undertale cast. See, that's the thing. I feel for them because you get to know them, you get to know everything about them, really. With Sakura, other than getting, other than she's just here to be Tenchi's little so-called love interest, so we can pull him away from the girls, which technically is where most of the comedy lies. Tenchi and the girls. It's pretty much the comedy right there. That's the thing about Tenchi and Tokyo. Some episodes, like the beginning part, I would like to say the beginning part is good because it shows that even though Tenchi's like going to school in Tokyo, the girls are still going to, still gonna follow him and still gonna cause a little bit of havoc in Tenchi's life. But I really hated in Tokyo how Tenchi was like, I just want to live a normal life. And he does say this in the beginning, like, I could finally have a normal life without these women. I'm like, motherfucker. No. No. You are a Dorian motherfucking prince. And I don't know if they say it in Tokyo or even if it's even mentioned. But man, you were gonna have a weird life from the start, okay, man. Whether you like it, whether you like it or not. And that's how I always felt about Tenchi in that series. And he's just willing to cast everybody away. Everybody that he's known longer than Sakura for Sakura. For Sakura and Sakuya. Either way, And he pushes Ryoko away. And you guys know how I feel about Ryoko. It's just like, you've been through so much with her, and it doesn't matter which continuity, it's still the same thing. You've been through so much with her, and you're willing to basically push her aside for a chick you only know a little bit about. I don't know, maybe it's because, I did, living in Tenchi's house, my little fanfic, which I'm gonna bring back and call it a different name because that name was stupid. Because I just didn't like how I wanted to make a conclusion, and yes, it was self-insertion. But I felt with me as a character, it made things a lot more made things a lot more funny, Tenchi, them still fighting over Tenchi because he's still going to school at Tokyo because he's still going to school there, and a whole bunch of stuff happens. A whole bunch of stuff happens that I added from other series, which again wasn't my intent. But I guess that's where Team H came from. But I just didn't like Sakura because of what she was, and that's why I always say she has no character, because I don't really feel where she's coming from. She was basically made to basically lead Tenchi off, and yeah, you kind of do feel something. I guess for some people you do feel something for her, and that's cool for you, but I could never feel anything for her. I just saw her as like a character that really didn't even exist, really. And Tenchi's crying over a character that really didn't fucking exist, and I was like, out of all that, All that you didn't learn anything, Tenchi. Did you learn anything? Anything at all? And a lot of people go like, "Bugsy, what did you feel about Odd Tenchi Muyo?" It was good, actually. It was. I mean, yeah, it was done in short bursts, but I really did enjoy it. I mean, when you watch the supercut and yeah, like everything's together, yeah, pretty good. It's like one cohesive. I bet it's like if you put it together, it's like one movie. And I kind of liked it. I mean, one dude from the Lighthawk Wings was like, freaking Tenchi gets stripped, and I was expecting one of the new girls to like pull his dick out and slap him, something with him. I'm like, I mean, you gotta keep watching it. Certain people go like, "Why do you always ask me to keep watching something?" Because it gets better. I'm like, listen to me. I mean, for certain people that doesn't work, but for people that are really interested and curious about Tenchi Muyo, watch it, man. It's it may come off as a little bit slow, but it gets better. It gets way better. And people always say like, Bugsy, how do you feel about GXP? I loved it. Okay, I loved it. Because out of the gate, I knew what it was. Warren Gemini, same thing. I mean, people like Warren Gemini, or Saint Knight's Tale as it's called. I like it too. Also, I think it's funny in the Dodenshi, one of the Dodenshis, Aika's daughter and Ryoko's daughter dates marries one of Santa's sons. I was like, that's a little weird, but I mean, do you really see it going any other way, guys, with Tenchi at this point? Do you see it going any other way? I really do feel like Tenchi will marry, say, like, if this was really set in stone, because the Dodenshis are not really set in, like, stone or continuity. But if the creator Tenchi was like, let's just end this, let's have, Tenchi with, Aiga and Ryoko and just call it a day. I think that's what would technically happen, I hear, like, Santa has, like, 3 sons by, like, Akane. I mean, not Akane. Freaking Kaoru and the other Ryoko and the other chick. I can't remember her name. But yeah, that's what's happening with that. And I was like, okay. But then again, Santa gets like a whole bunch of fucking chicks at the end, so I wouldn't even be surprised, that he get like three sons out of that one. Personally, I think he would have more. He'd have so much more than just 3 kids, but hey. That's just me being me. The funny, I guess, one of the better things, the best things about Tenchi is that gradually, yeah, he becomes skittish, but when you go from Universe and like Muyo, he actually gets a lot better. He actually gets a lot more confident. And even when they do that whole like episode when Santa goes and meets Tenchi, you see Tenchi, like, Santa's on a bike, fucking Tenchi's like sprinting like a motherfucker, catching up with the bike without even trying. And it really shows Tenchi's development as a character. Although I like how he is in the novel, because I didn't have to wait for something like that. He actually does develop a lot more in this novel than he ever does in the freaking anime. And Digi, if you're watching, please do a who's that. Do a who's that on Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Masaki, if you could. I mean, I'm not like begging here. It'd be cool if you could. So yeah, I really, 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 really enjoy Tenchi Muyo, and I could talk about it all day. And I probably already did talk about like half the video, even though this was gonna be a simple, simple update on holiday stuff. And I wanted to just tell you guys this because also I just feel like you guys need to know. I want like next year I want to put more Tenchi stuff in my videos, and it's mostly going to be on Zipcast, but I just wanted to kind of tell you guys that because, you guys need to know this. You guys need to know this stuff because, you know, I still love Tenchi, and there's, with Makov and me doing Makov redo, I can redo all the other Tenchi stuff and even do Tenchi in Tokyo fully. And, maybe Tenchi Muyo. I guess, and a lot of people say, like, Bugsy. A lot of people ask me a lot of these questions, and I'm going to answer them now. Bugsy, which is your favorite alternate reality from Tenchi universe? That would have to be. That would have to be when Ryoko and Tenchi become gangsters. I gotta say, I like that one, but I do like kind of the school, like the high school thing with Tenchi and Aika and Ryoko, just to kind of, because I gotta like it. I think that's what they implemented in Pretty Sammy, but I wish it was more of an emphasis on Ryoko, Aika, and Tenchi in high school, because that's a new kind of dynamic, and I think I would like to see something like that, or maybe Aika and Ryoko kind of saying like they don't need Tenchi and they become kind of lesbians. But that's my preference. That's my personal preference, just to see that. But some of the other ones were pretty cool too. But though I didn't kind of like the whole Mahoshi kind of living, having Tenchi as her husband and Sasami as her kid and stuff. Don't know why I guess the mother-in-law when she'd technically be the aunt-in-law. Yeah, Tenchi is like, I'll tell you right now, guys, and you guys probably already know if you know Tenchi. Freaking Aika is Tenchi's great aunt. Yes, and that to me is kind of like because I don't care how old you technically are and how old Tenchi is. You guys are still kind of family in a sense, even though Yosho's your half brother. It's still kind of weird. And people can say whatever they want about it, but that's the whole reason I don't really look at Ayaka that much with Tenchi. I mean, if I wanted to pair up with one of my characters, I would, because that would make a little bit more sense. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I don't think Ayaka should be with Tenchi. In my mind, I don't think she should, but, if you guys like that sort of thing, I ain't gonna judge. We all like different things, and I ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, you guys suck if you like that sort of thing. I'm not gonna do that. But personally, that's just how I feel about it. But Mahoshi, a lot of people say, like, if you could pair up Yonki with any character from the Tenchi series, which would it be? Even though it's weird because in canon pieces, we all know that Markov Bugsy, which is technically the main continuity, got married to Ryoko and had kids with Ryoko. But if I had to really pair Yonky up, which is another just an alternate version of myself. I guess it would have to be. I guess he'd have to actually go with Kione. But then again, I think Kione and like Mahoshi were. I don't know. Something always told me that Mahoshi and Kione were kind of lesbians anyway. I don't know. Just felt like they kind of were, and they're not. It just kind of seems like they kind of are and kind of aren't. But eh, I don't know. But I don't know. I think Universe kind of made that kind of like they could be. But yeah, he'd be with Kione. He'd be with Kione. Um, a lot of people like want to say what living in Tenji's house was. It was just like self-assertion fanfic. I had Moroku in it from freaking Inuyasha. I didn't explain why. He was just kind of there with a slightly less toned down version, a toned down version of me. You know, and that's just how it was. And there was like a Tenchi Inuyasha crossover that happened because of that. And even there was like a Moroku getting married to Sango and me having Sam Max in there. Yeah, I was in the Sam Max. And they drove Moroku to the wedding, and it was just weird. Um, there was me having Tenchi and a version of Bugsy, fighting over Yoko, even though I know it was totally out of character. I was a weird kid. Just roll with me here. It was all culminating in like the very end where Bugsy and Ryoko kind of get together, and I kind of kept elements from that into the mock-off version of things, even though a few things are kind of rewritten from that. The fight between Tenchi and Bugsy kind of never happened. It never happened because I just felt like it was kind of stupid. But I kind of wrote it like, what if, in the mock-up version, I kind of wrote it like, what if Bugsy was the first person she met on Earth and fell in love for him. Like, what if she fell in love with my character, with my personality, and all that other stuff? What if that happened? So pretty much that's how that happened, and if you guys want to know about the other stuff, ask me more questions about it. I will be happy to tell you. A lot of people, and a lot of people ask me a lot of these questions. I like answering them in these little FAQs because I get a lot of these, and a lot of these vary from different people and a whole bunch of different stuff, and I just like talking about it. And a few people ask me also, will there be a Tenchi Muyo Rama Forever Rivals crossover? I say like, what? Do you want me to mix the Living in Tenchi's House, Tenchi in Tokyo universe with Rama Forever Rivals? Because there's a problem with that. There's two different versions of me in there. Like, how would I even go about doing that? But, a few people ask me that, and I'm like, I mean, maybe having DV remember, having Ryoko or Aika there, and a whole bunch of different stuff. Probably something like that. Some stuff like that. Because with Ranma Forever Rivals, I'm gonna have aliens in there, so. Oh my god, guys. Thoughts on defending Gohan? Oh, Unreal Entertainment. You're actually gonna defend Gohan? I thought he became a whiny little bitch, and I thought you just didn't care anymore. Another thing I like to talk about, guys, it really gets on my nerves because a lot of people go like, a lot of people will go like, I don't freaking care about Gohan because he got weaker. And I'm like, do you guys even understand when, like, I always say it like I say it, and it's pretty much put down to a science. Family, fighting, sometimes slow down. It's pretty much the basic formula to that, and like no one wants to listen. Mostly because no one's actually had a family that would actually consider that, I suppose. I just felt like talking about this because, I felt like talking about this and rambling a bit because, it's kind of what I do. I'm a rambler. So, I think that's about it. I'll see you guys a little bit later. But, yeah. More, what you need to take away from this is, more Tenchi stuff coming on the Zipcast. Let me see if I can grab some of the older stuff from Markov. If I can, I'll just remake it, and we'll just go from there. And more holiday stuff coming to you guys. But don't get mad if it gets kind of public domainy with my videos. Like, just look at public domain Christmas specials. Just be prepared for that. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe there'll be another Bugsy and Sans. But trust me, no more what if scenarios. That shit, like, coming up with that shit kind of made me cry, like, 3 or 4 or 5 times. I guess that's why it kind of felt more real and more legit. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, folks. And like always, Chaos, Mischief, Manage. I will see you all later. And yes, this is Morning Ramble at night. Or just the ramble.